All right, this is Dusty, and it is her Roadmap to Success video. When I first got here, she did a little bit of barking and then calmed down pretty quickly after I came into the home. She didn't jump or anything, as you can see in the greeting video, and she was able to kind of gain self-control really fast. Now, the guardians wanted me to come in here and kind of help them establish a couple more rules and boundaries so they could take the leadership position and help her listen to commands better and in general start to relax and not be so nipping at their arms and during play. So the first thing that we started to talk about was using our escalating consequences to disagree with her for unwanted behavior and use our petting with a purpose technique to reward her for good behavior. Remember, when you're using the petting with a purpose, if you were to pet her when she's acting nervous or anxious, you're essentially telling her, good job, keep responding that way when you hear thunderstorms or anything like that. A quick little note about thunderstorms: you can use counter conditioning, where you start to have the thunderstorms download a little sound for that on your phone, or try to plug it into your computer, anything to produce the loudest sound. Start at the quietest possible sound and do what I'm doing right now, and just keep giving her treats. When she starts to get a little nervous, stop giving her treats and turn the sound down, give her another treat and play it again, and then slowly over time increase the sound nice and slowly so she gets to the point where you can have it loud and booming and she's calmly taking treats from you. To help her not start to nip and bite at your arms or any parts of your body, what I want you to do is, as soon as her mouth even touches your arm, just barely touch you, I want you to stand up and walk away. That means playtime's over. So she starts to realize that anytime her mouth touches you, the fun is over. We're all done. Remember, dogs only do things that work for them. In the past, maybe this hasn't quickly stopped play, so she thought that this was an acceptable form of play. Now we're going to teach her over time that this actually does not get her anything that she wants, and she's going to stop nipping and kind of mouthing at your arms and limbs. The next thing that we did is we went over the leadership exercise. That's in our first video. I will refer to you to that above for the directions and how to go through that. I want you for the next 2 weeks to have both of the guardians do the leadership exercise with her at least once a day, just for the next 2 weeks, to help make that dynamic change and that shift. Then we went over the claiming the door exercise, and I'll refer to the guardians up to that video again to watch that for the specific instructions. But what I want you to do is start to try to work on that at least once a day. Communicate with each other. When one of you is coming home, text or call each other and say, I'll be home in about 5 minutes, and use that as an opportunity to park the car for a second, maybe in the driveway, and go to the front door and practice this exercise. So you get a lot of practice and repetition with each other. So if she were to try to cross that boundary when you go to open the door, you know that your spouse is being nice and kind and doesn't mind if it takes an extra minute, so you also don't have the same anxiety of having an actual real guest at the door and trying to hurry over. Then I would actually ask friends and family that are coming over for the next couple of weeks to have a little patience, that if it takes an extra minute for you to open the door, that you're not trying to be rude, you're just working on her having really good door etiquette and a nice greeting behavior. So I would work on that for the next month or so and try to start to incorporate having friends and family that you know will be amenable to this over, and just kind of bring them in on that participation, let them know ahead of time. And then we went on a structured walk. That again is in the video above, probably the one right above this one, and we go over how to set up the martingale collar, how to make sure that it fits, and then a couple of the rules to go over during the structured walk. Go ahead and let her have, maybe if you go out for about a 30-minute walk, give her 20 minutes of the structured walk, and then take the leash off and let her kind of use the martingale collar like a regular collar, so she can walk around and kind of smell in her environment and enjoy just kind of being a dog. However, a little caveat to that will be, if you see something coming up ahead, you have a big family coming towards you or another dog that's going on a walk, at that point, if she's in the unstructured walk portion, go ahead and put the leash back around her belly, back into the kind of harness part of the martingale system, and that way you're going to gain a little more control over her, and go ahead and cross the street for at least the next month or so. Let her gain that self-control and be able to be more patient. So this way, over time, you won't have to do this, but I want you to cross the street and then stand still and let the dog pass by. Make sure that you have slack on the leash. Remember that when you have tension on the leash, it can create her to want to pull back more, and that will get her energy level up. A good indicator is to look at her tail. If her tail is really high up and curled up on her back, it means she has a lot of energy to bring to the table. As her tail starts to relax farther down her back, it indicates to you that she's in a much calmer, more relaxed state. The next thing I want to make sure to remind you of is a couple of the rules that we put in place. I want you to make sure she doesn't go on the furniture for the next 30 days and that she is using the structured eating. Remember, we kept her outside of the area where you feed her until you give her permission to go in and eat. And she only has a couple of minutes to eat her dinner or her breakfast. And if she immediately refuses to have the food, just pick it up, put it away, and then put the empty bowl back down in next to her water bowl. Okay, remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.